Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox, where we talk about all things Xbox, new and old. And on today's agenda is a review of Stranglehold, which was released on the Xbox 360 and PS3 in 2007. Stranglehold is a weird enigma of a game. Stranglehold is actually a sequel to a 1992 film directed by the great John Woo, the Hong Kong action film Hard Boiled. The main actor in that Chun Yun Fat returns to play his Inspector Tequila Yoon role, which that in itself is really interesting. Almost 15 years later, we would be returning to the world of Hard Boiled in video game form, and the actual title for this game fully is John Woo Presents Stranglehold. So John Woo, the director, had his hands all over this, and he actually appears in the game as a little thing while he runs a store you can buy special things from. And Hard Boiled has a pretty solid fan base, and I think it was an interesting choice to make into a video game, but it makes sense because going back and watching Hard Boiled, I watched it before I played this game. It's just like the game. It's literally our main characters will go into a room and just kill a bunch of things in really cool ways, and there is a small plot that carries it all. It's stylish and powerful. Hard Boiled is a really cool movie, and I get why a lot of people love it. Unfortunately, I don't think Stranglehold is an amazing game, but I do think it's an interesting one, and it deserves going back to. This game was published and developed by Midway Games in 2007, and it was during a weird time where Midway was really trying to push like a Hollywood big HD budget future with games like Wheelman, which starred Vin Diesel, and a huge crossover between DC and Mortal Kombat. But unfortunately, this wouldn't work out for them, and as we know now, Midway is no more. And Stranglehold sold well, but it is kind of leading into some of the reasons that Midway would close down. Now, Stranglehold's story, compared to the film, it's just like the film, a little incomprehensible, but dumb fun. You know, it ties everything together, it's well done. It's nothing incredible, but it's fun. What really works in Stranglehold is the gameplay. Its heavy use of slow motion action really creates a fun environment. I think for the first 3 levels, it's really interesting. It's almost like an early version of a horde mode or a wave-based shooter. You kind of go through a big level, and then in each section, you just have a bunch of enemies roll at you. You have things you can hop on and go in slow motion, do fun kills, and you rank up your style points. It's all about being the most stylish with your kills, just like in the movies of John Woo. And it really feels cool. It's not really clunky, you can move from objects really fast, and shooting just feels great. And there's such a crazy amount of ammo that you never feel like you have to rush around and get ammo. Part of the rushing around is there are health packs, and you do have to reset yourself because on the harder difficulties, this game gets tough. But I think that's a part of the fun. Actually, what I find really interesting about this game is the thought that it really clicks at a certain point that you aren't really playing the main character. It's almost like you are the director, John Woo, and your idea is to make the coolest action set pieces in your time frame. And I think that's a lot of fun. That's a fun idea. It's like making your own crazy action movie all in video game form. It's really nice for maybe the first 3 levels, but it does get repetitive. You go from room to room, kill a bunch of enemies, and then you just move on. And you start to notice like rolling carts and climbing up stair rails. You keep doing that. There's not enough variety in all these levels to keep it interesting. And I think they knew that because this game takes about 4 to 5 hours to complete. I really think it wants you to focus on multiplayer, which unfortunately for me, I could not find any games, so I have to judge this game solely on the single player aspect of it. And I think it is a really cool game, and there's not a lot like it, so I want to say that I recommend checking it out, especially if you're a fan of John Woo films, but also if you're interested in this era of gaming, because the slow motion feels great. It really feels cool killing people in slow motion, or using your special spinning moves to shoot people all around you. I will say it just kind of gets tiring after a little bit. Graphically for its time, I don't think it looks great. It's fine. It captures some of the main actors' looks, but some of the villains, they look a little funky. It feels like an original Xbox game that just kind of got an HD release, but it's not too awful. I think the main focus here is definitely the cool gameplay hook. Another really cool element of this game is the music. I think it does a great job of capturing Hard-Boiled's jazzy soundtrack, but also it uses a really good amount of sound effects that reoccur so you know certain things are happening. So if a new wave is happening, it adds this really nice, it's really beautiful sound effect to the music, so it kind of transitions well. It isn't just popping up constantly. But yeah, I think this game is really cool. I don't think it's interesting enough to keep playing over and over again on every difficulty, but I think it's a game you should try at least once. It's pretty cool. I really love the slow motion, and I think there was a big push for this in the Xbox 360 era that kind of went away. But yeah, definitely give Stranglehold a try. It's not going to be an amazing game by any means, but it's neat. And on my ranking list, I am going to put it near the bottom. I'm going to put it above Dark Void because I do think this is a lot more fun and much more well polished than Dark Void. But everything else I covered, I would say, is a much better game. If you played this game back in the day and you didn't like it, or you liked it, or if you're interested in it, please let me know in the comments. I love reading your guys' experience with these games. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps everything out. And we'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.